Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so excited that you're all here today. My name is Allison Cooper, and I am the CEO of Influencer Secrets Academy. Thank you for joining in our masterclass. Today, we are diving into Pinterest, which I am so excited about. And I have Camille here today, and she is our Pinterest expert. So without further ado, we're just going to dive right in. So Camille, kick us off and share a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. So like she mentioned, my name is Camille and I'm your go-to person for all things Pinterest. I am in Minnesota and I have built my business with kiddos home with me. I have a 13-year-old stepson who I've been in his life since he was 3. And then I have a 6-year-old daughter who is a first grader. So we are in year 2 of her being at school during the day. But prior to that, she was home with me full time. So I've built my business with kiddos running around and working in small pockets of time. So if you fall in that bucket, I definitely know how those work days go. I started social media freelancing in 2016 and then niched down to Pinterest in 2018 after having my daughter, and have just built a business on Pinterest and around Pinterest and educating business owners on Pinterest since then, because it's my favorite and it doesn't have near as many updates as the rest of the social platforms. So that is my specialty and I absolutely love it.
I love that. I'm also a fan of Pinterest, and I'm so excited to dive into all this because I feel like it is an untapped, not completely untapped, but it's a platform that I wish influencers spent more time on versus everything being Instagram. Pinterest is magical, I think. So we're going to dive in here. Question number 1. What are the key factors that make a Pinterest profile stand out and attract followers?
I love this. I'm going to start this with, we have to take off our social media lens as business owners when we're working within Pinterest. While Pinterest is lumped in on like HubSpot data, Google data, all those like platforms that do articles every year about marketing 101, or these are the social medias you need to be on, they lump Pinterest in there because it's easy and it gets eyeballs on their stuff. But in reality, Pinterest is a search engine first and foremost, similar to Google, before it is even remotely close to any of the other social platforms out there that we are using as business owners. So going into any of these answers, we have to look at it through a social media searching platform versus churn on other social platforms that are out there. So to answer that, we have to have keywords that distinguish you and what you do compared to everything else. So think very similar to like your Instagram bio or your TikTok bio, that snippet of who are you, what do you do, or what do you sell? Think those as your starting point to then go down the rabbit hole of what are other keywords surrounded with these or associated with these initial keywords that I want to be known for, and start integrating those a little bit more. So what I do, top of my mind, is my food bloggers. Some are in like the health and wellness space. So we have healthy recipes, we have easy recipes, we have family recipes, like all these slightly different variations of who their target audience is. We have that in their profile name, in their profile description, on their boards, and in their pins. Whereas I have another one who's specific to cookies. So we highlight baking, we highlight cookie recipes, we highlight chocolate, we highlight all those things you could add into cookies within their recipes to get in front of those people that are, again, looking for the broad baking type recipes into their profile. So you could do the same thing as an influencer or affiliate marketing. What is the main thing that you sell? Are you fashion? Are you beauty? Are you family? And what are those keywords that you then want to be associated with in that avenue? Because again, keyword searchable, not mass amounts of followers.
Great answer. That's super informative. Now I need to go back and redo all my all my profile stuff. Awesome. Okay, so then when it comes to posting on Pinterest, how often should we be posting, and is there a right time of day to post?
Everyone would love for me to say, I have the magic sauce, I have the magic number, and I don't. There is no such thing on Pinterest. There is no set. And if somebody's telling you that, they are trying to bait and switch you 90% of the time, because with Pinterest being a search engine, first and foremost, your consistency, as we like to say on all the other platforms, or your baseline is unique to you. So I have some that are posting 1 pin a day. So anywhere from 30 to 31 pins a month, and that's it. And then I have other ones who are posting 5 pins a day because they have the content and the resources to back that up. So this one, I wish I had a magic number, but it really is sitting down, looking at your content calendar or your brand deals that you have, or how much you're required to post for whatever your business or however your business is set up, and then reverse engineering it. So blogs, I typically say you can get 3 to 5 pins per blog post. Just don't post them all back to back. Stagger them out between the next 4 to 6 weeks. What else? Like affiliate landing pages, or if there's sales, there's going to be a little bit of a contradicting answer there. If there's a massive sale, I don't say publicize that on Pinterest, because once it's on Pinterest, it's there forever.
Yeah.
And when that sale price expires, you don't want to have a pin out there that says they get this amount off, or it's only going to cost them this amount of money. On the actual pin. If it's linking to a blog post, if it's linking to an LTK, if it's linking to something that reflects that blog, like that discounted price once they click out, then that's fine. But I personally don't suggest you ever put sale numbers or discount or this price from this date to this date on your actual pins, because again, unlike social media, even if you delete your pin, if somebody's already saved it to their board, you deleting it does nothing. It still lives on their board. So that is also very different than other socials, where if a campaign's done, if a sale's done, you can secret those videos, or if your partnership is done, you can secret those videos and nobody sees them anymore. Pinterest does not work that way. So back to your original question, what's the magic number? It's going to be different for every business, but the amount of, you have to first decide for your unique business, how many pins do you want to put out a month, and then reverse engineer. How many does that look like a day? How many should I be focusing on for this specific type of content or affiliate link? So it ends up being more of a formula than a magic number that everybody should be applying. And as far as time of day goes, again, if you use something like Tailwind, it's going to tell you after 30 days your most active times. Pinterest analytics are going to tell you your most active days based on like when your impressions or saves or outbound clicks are higher. You can see that on a graph. So it you just got to kind of digest all the information and decide what is best for you. My ones that are doing more than like 2 pins a day, we obviously have some that go out morning, afternoon, and evening, just because that's the amount of content that they have. But a lot of, especially testing stuff, I will do sometime before noon as one of their pins, and sometime afternoon, but before like 10 o'clock at night, and go with that for 2 to 4 weeks and see if a time or a specific pin like totally stands out on getting more impressions. But on Pinterest right now, it's taking anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks for everything to fully index anyways. So at that point, what time you posted it doesn't necessarily matter anyways.
So actually, I love that you said that. That is like a huge takeaway I want to just point out. the indexing time, right? So if you are working on something that is, for Christmas, okay, so we have to make sure that all our Christmas content is on Pinterest probably 2 months in advance or more. So that's a huge takeaway for everybody.
Yep. And a caveat of Christmas is there's always a huge spike now post-COVID with the Christmas in July, like marketing.
Okay.
And so a lot of time you'll start to see influencers and affiliate marketers start rolling out minimal holiday content, but it's still out there like a couple times a week. They're starting to roll it out starting in July, even as early as July, because there's a spike there. I don't remember who started that Pinterest in July trend years ago, but it's still a thing. And then really in the fall, so that right after back to school, you will significantly see an increase in gift guides, or these are great lists for your husbands for gifts or whatever. And to be honest, while I love Christmas and I love that we can do gift guides for Christmas, I remind my people to keep it broad. You still have Father's Day, you still have Mother's Day, you still have birthdays, you still have Valentine's Day. Like, you have all these other gift-giving holidays throughout the year that gift guides are good for if you take the Christmas name out of after the holidays.
Yeah, I'm going to sneak an additional question in here because it just occurred to me. So for people who do not have a blog to link back to, do you suggest to create your pins and things like that and then link them back to their Instagram account?
So yeah, if you don't have a website that is yours, if you are not actively like creating batch posts on like to know, or don't have those links, or don't have the big posts on Amazon, you just have your lists or whatever it might be as far as influencer affiliate marketing goes, you can lead it back to Instagram. That is allowed. We can track those numbers now because you can claim your Instagram as of February 2025. You can, if this is beyond, you might have to check. But with that, we want the least amount of clicks for people. So if you're going to link to your Instagram, I always say make sure it links directly to that specific post that you're referencing, because nobody is going to scroll 3, 4, 5 scrolls to find what they thought they were landing on to be able to purchase quickly. So that's why linking to like to know, linking to the actual Amazon link, linking to a blog where they can easily find that Amazon link, you want the least amount of clicks to have the highest amount conversion as you can.
Great insight there. Thank you. All right, back to my question list that I provided you with. So here we are in 2025, the top of the year. What types of pins perform the best?
Yes, so I actually just did some research when you sent the questions over for me to overview before, because I wanted to see if it was still very similar to last year and the previous couple years. But really the X amount of tips or X amount of Amazon finds for the pantry or favorite products or how-tos are very, very good on Pinterest. So how to dress for a country concert, or favorite festival outfits for a concert, like making sure that you are incorporating all of those different versions of how they could be searching for the question. So I'm going to go back to my notes because I had something written down good for that. That it should be Pinterest users are looking for solutions to their problems, whether it's inspiration, how to do something, learn something, or solve a problem. So your pins should be the solution for them when they're looking at that pin. So like they're not necessarily, you want them to know exactly what they're going to land on and what problem or solution you're going to give them from their actual, like just looking at the image when they're scrolling. That's going to increase your outbound clicks. It's going to increase your saves because you have that scroll stopping piece of content versus if it's just a beautiful, clean kitchen, like white kitchen, but you're trying to sell the cabinets or the hardware that's on the cabinets, they're not gonna necessarily know what that pin is for.
So what about like a static pin versus a video pin versus an idea pin?
Yep. So idea pins are no longer a thing unless it's for an ad. There's like no version of carousels anymore unless it's a promoted pin. So don't waste time trying to create multiple slide pins. Don't waste time doing any of that. I will say if you have carousel pins or carousel images from Instagram that you want to turn into pins, what I've been doing with clients is resizing them to the Instagram story size and then within Canva animating them and then dropping the animation down to like 3 seconds. So then it actually turns into a video pin when you download it. Cool. So that's the way to repurpose carousels if that is more your target. But I try to tell my clients 50-50 if they can as far as video and static pins because both do well. And most people are making TikToks or they're making Instagram reels anyways as a different side of their marketing strategy. Yeah. So being able to repurpose them with intent, knowing, okay, I'm going to create this 60 or a minute and a half try on, I can repurpose that over on Pinterest as well. While the watch through rate may not be as good, you still are showing up for those fashion people that are looking for whatever that try on haul was, and can tag your products and I'll challenge you guys to open your app when you're watching this. If you open it and it's a tag product pin, all of them are going to be at the bottom of that video. So it's easy for people to pick which one of those they liked and buy it, again, within normally less than 3 clicks to check out.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit to Pinterest SEO. How does that work?
Yes, so this is where a lot of business owners get hung up. They just want to be able to copy and paste what they're putting on Instagram or copy and paste what they're putting in their TikTok bios or descriptions, when in reality, there's 3 different places I check for Pinterest SEO or Pinterest keywords. Both are interchangeable. It just depends who's teaching. Pinterest has an amazing Pinterest tools within their analytics now. So you can see a graph, you can see additional similar keywords, you can see what age group is searching for this keyword most often. And then it also will give you pins that fall in that specific category, which then you can go down the rabbit hole of, okay, why are these the top performing pins? What problems do they solve? Do they just have affiliate links? Do they have a video? Are they a static pin? Are they a collage pin? And so spending the time and doing the work when you're starting out on Pinterest to really get your keywords organized and understand how your potential customer or ideal client is searching for and what they're searching for is a game changer to show up for more opportunities down the road. So think Google search bar. They also have a Pinterest search bar, which is very similar. It's going to try to autofill or guess what you're trying to type in. So I do a lot of that research and pull those how-tos, any additional keywords. So when you think healthy recipes, a lot of times it's like family healthy recipes or kids healthy recipes or lunch recipes for kids type of stuff. So while they all are very similar and probably get you the same result, it's just a matter of what is the mom or what is the purchaser typing in at that moment in time, and do you have those keywords in your pin, on the pin, on the pin image, in the pin title, in the pin description. So spending the time. I love Google Sheets. When I take on a client, whether it's done for you or done with you, they come in and within the first week, Normally the first 2 weeks are foundation weeks. So we're creating images, doing the keyword research, optimizing the account. But I spend a good 2 to 3 days typing stuff in for keywords and creating that really long list. And while some we may not use all the time, at least I have them as quick reference in a spreadsheet so I can open that instead of trying to, again, do the research every time we're creating or batching content.
Love it. Yeah. Love my SEO spreadsheets. They're so important across the board.
Yes. And so many business owners are like, I don't do keyword research. I don't have a website. I didn't spend time on it. And I said, okay, well, what do you want to be known for? What do you have in your Instagram bio? And what hashtags have you been using or did you use when hashtags were super relevant? Start with those, let your wheels start turning, and just start making lists as stuff starts to pop.
That's a great, like, really just simple way to like break it down for somebody who is just first time diving into all this. Great. Why don't you say that again? Those 3 questions you asked.
So what do you want to be known for as a business owner? What hashtag research have you done, or what hashtags did you use or are you currently using? And then what type of content are you creating? So is it specific, like I just think of like, just because my daughter and I get sent products sometimes. So I'm like, oh, those are all toys. Like not necessarily my normal demographic, but when I post with her, it's kids who love crafts, mom life, kids activities, like all of those are technically keywords and SEO related. You just have to start your list.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Great advice. Okay, so are there any mistakes that you specifically see influencers make when using Pinterest?
Yes, there are 3. And these might ruffle some feathers. I hate mass pinning. Like if you should not be pinning the same product back to back to back to back every day, like multiple times a day. That's not going to help you. If anything, you're going to get caught in the spam filter. Using the wrong size images. So they're putting squares up there, or they're putting really tiny ones, or they're stealing images from Amazon or wherever else that is, they didn't take those images. They don't have copyright ability to it.
Yes.
Or those 2 through that it is that it? Yeah. Mass pinning, wrong size images, and then scraping people's images. I will put one other one in there. For a while, it was being taught by somebody, I do not know who, because it's not someone in my space, that it was okay to open up Pinterest, go to like the top fast fashion searches, screenshot people's images, and then re-upload them and put your affiliate link in there. That's a really great way to get your account banned on Pinterest, to be caught up in spam, or to not be you spend all this time on your account essentially for people then to not purchase because they've seen that image 4 times because somebody else is doing the same thing. So I'm a firm believer that if you want to have that integrity piece, do the work, find a workflow that works for you, and do it with integrity. If you we all are business owners, we all should be proud of what we do. So same thing goes for Pinterest.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is huge. Thank you for highlighting that. Since we are speaking about affiliates, I do just want to point out one thing. I think that a lot of influencers forget that they still have to abide by FTC guidelines on Pinterest. And if you guys are in our Influencer Secrets Mastermind group, I actually just uploaded a huge guide with all the changes and a checklist, because you see people, this is a huge mistake that can lead to legal trouble. You guys do not, the FTC is out for blood right now. They don't care if you are a small creator. They don't care who you are. So make sure that you are abiding by all of these laws on Pinterest as well.
Yes. Yep. I had a couple highlighted for sure from the Pinterest affiliate guide too, of the no cloaking. So no shortening links. It's annoying for us for sure, but you have to abide by that. You have to disclose somewhere in your pin description that it's an ad or a sponsored or like very similar to all the other platforms. And then they're really cracking down on they're calling them fake accounts, but essentially they're cracking down on if you would be in a group chat and say, here's my pin, and just mass pinning it very quickly to other people's boards. Those are ways to get in trouble now. They're claiming them as fake accounts, or influencers were having multiple accounts, like a private and a business one, and then mass saving their pins and to make them look better or have better analytics to be pushed out faster. And so they are now on the back end monitoring a lot of that. So again, just have the integrity. I mean, it all comes back to
Integrity.
Do what you know you're supposed to do, and the integrity side of running a business.
Yes, absolutely. So, so important. Okay, so next question. How can influencers effectively repurpose their content that they're already making for Instagram, TikTok, and blogs? Like, how do we kind of streamline that for Pinterest use?
Yes. So we'll start with video content first, because I know that that is the top of a lot of people's marketing strategies right now. So if you're if you're producing on TikTok, if you're producing reels, even if you have Instagram stories, the best way is to either download them as you're doing it so that you just have them on your phone already. But like SnapTik or InstaTik or whatever they're called, you can download, like drop your URLs in there, get rid of the watermarks. But a lot of times I just do that for clients and then upload them as video pins and rewrite a keyword-rich pin title, a keyword-rich pin description, and then make sure that links to whatever you're talking about in that video. So if you have a blog post about it, drop the blog post, because that's traffic to your website first and foremost. But if you don't have that, make sure it's linked to the Amazon link that it specifically talks about, the TikTok shop link it specifically talks about, whatever that may be, the product or service you're talking about. You want the path of least resistance for the pinners. So it needs to link to whatever you're talking about, especially in video form. And then on there with videos, if you do upload via the desktop version of Pinterest, you can add tags. So whatever that product highlights, you can add additional up to 10 tags to help it index a little bit quicker. I mentioned the carousel hack a little bit earlier. We've been doing that a lot with clients. So taking your carousel, resizing it on Canva, and then animating it at that like about 3-second per slide mark, so people don't get bored, but it still moves along. Other Instagram static ones. So if you do quotes, if you do buy the or shop this look type stuff, you can just resize those to, again, Instagram story or the Pinterest size on Canva to make them the longer format. And then blogs or YouTube videos or podcasts, I always have anywhere from 3 to 5 templates, whether they're video or static templates that we just drop and drag, essentially. Drop in the product photos, drop in the new podcast title, drop in the new whatever photos or keywords. It's kind of a plug and play at that point to maximize your blogs, your podcasts, your other landing pages. If you do digital products, essentially any digital product can have 7 to 10 pins a month in different keywords, different colors, just leading to that specific product. So again, it ends up being a math equation. Like I just rattled off the things, but it ends up being a math equation of what type of content you create, how much you want to create, and then reverse engineering what that workflow looks like for each individual business. Nobody believes me when I say every business is super unique when I'm talking to them in the DMs or podcast episodes until we start breaking it down like I just did. And they're like, oh, now I get why you say it's not a one size fits all strategy.
Makes sense. I want to quickly go back to what you said about watermarks and removing watermarks. Does content perform better on Pinterest if you remove the original watermark? Could you just dive into that a little bit more?
Pinterest says yes in their best practices that they don't want the watermarks on there. Again, Pinterest can put a whole bunch of stuff in a document, and then the little analytic robots don't necessarily follow that. So you will have some people that'll be like, no, I'm going to debunk her in 2 seconds by opening my Pinterest account. You can. There's videos out there with TikTok watermarks and Instagram watermarks and whatever else that do really, really well. But again, I do my best to not put my clients in situations where their account could be put under review, where it could be put as spam, where it could have, again, hiccups, because no business owner wants to deal with that. So I just don't even risk it anymore at this point and take that extra step to take it off. But again, there's a exception to every rule, I feel like.
I love that. Awesome. Well, I think we've actually gotten through the whole list because I stuck a few extra questions in at different spots. But I do want to end with, if somebody is just, watching this, has no Pinterest account, what is the one key takeaway that you want them to learn from this as they're getting started?
Yes, spend the time on your foundation. Spend the time doing the research. Spend the time designing pins that feel good and aligned with you and your brand and what you want to be known for, and set that foundation. I've helped over 100 business owners now in some capacity get on Pinterest, and so many come to me. I hired a VA. I watched this really outdated YouTube video. I bought this digital product that didn't actually teach me anything. Frustration with the platform, when again, just do the work, sit down, figure out what do you want to be known for, do the research, spend the time setting that foundation, because once that foundation's set and you do that and you've done the research and you start to post with that research, your content will snowball within 3, 6, 9 months. Also, not a quick platform by any means. I say minimum 90 days before you see any type of return, because stuff is taking anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to index. So your clock starts essentially that first post that you post out there, not when you start working on the account. So most of my clients, whether I do it for them or they're in my done with you option, we have a 2-week foundation set in both of those. So it takes them about 2 weeks to go through the done with you videos and them to implement. And I always spend 2 weeks for the done for you of that research and foundation stuff, so that when we do start posting and our essentially 90-day clock, quote unquote, starts, we are ready and not changing as soon as we start.
That makes sense. That is really, really great advice. Thank you so much, Camille, for being here today and sharing this wealth of knowledge with everybody. I know I am fired up and ready to go open up my Pinterest and, start creating and using these tips. I'm going to rewatch this and take notes because there's so much information here. So I am so thankful, and I know that everybody watching is so thankful too. So thank you for being here, and thank you all for joining, and we will talk soon.
Yes.
Bye.